Welcome back. It is Saturday, November 19th in the NBA. My favorite picks are on the way, including two best bets. But first, let's recap yesterday. Our best bet of the day does fall. Tyrese Halliburton over 30.5 PAs. Now, he does not get it done. He ends up with 27, despite a very slow start for him and the Pacers. Look, he ends up getting injured at the end of the game. He had his chances. The over-under was 237. They combined to score 190. If they even get close to that over-under, he probably hits that. But we had Bradley Beal's over in points. He gets that done. We added two plays, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Devin Booker's over in points. Those both guys got that done. We're on a two-day winning streak, 4-1 over the past 2 days. If we ever add a play, we also had Tobias Harris, who did not play, so he was voided. But if we ever add a play, we do it on Twitter at Calling Our Shot. We also send it to our COS All-Stars early. So if you aren't following us on Twitter or even on Instagram or on Facebook, wherever you find TikTok, whatever you name it, at Calling Our Shot, go follow us there. We certainly would appreciate it. Twitter is the place where we post those added plays, and there might be one today. Now, look, we've made it through 1 month of the NBA season. Yesterday was technically the 1 month mark, but now we've bet the NBA for exactly 1 month, and we've made 100 bets on the dot exactly. We've had 62 winners, 38 losses, up 23.23 units. It couldn't have been a better month. I mean, we'd love to make hit 70%, but the fact we're hitting that 62% clip, very solid. Hopefully, we've been helping you make some money along the way. If you are new, go down below, hit that subscribe button. We certainly would appreciate it. Hit that like button too. I would appreciate that as well. Now, it is Saturday, so we have our college football week 12 best picks video. That's already live on the channel. Go check that one out. It was posted on Friday. I went 5-0 last week on college football. Hopefully, I can duplicate that again. Our NFL parlays and player props video will be live later on tonight. Trying to shoot for a 5 to 6 p.m. upload date. You should be able to see that then. If we've been helping you make some money, go become a COS All-Star as well. I appreciate all the All-Stars out there. You get our plays early, including the added plays, which definitely helps with line movement. And there might have an added play or two today. It's also another way to support the channel. And you get shouted out at the end of the video. Click that join button on the channel. But without further ado, let's talk about the best bet segment. And I know it's been a little bit cold lately. It was started off 12-1. It's 8-9 over the last 17. Still 20-10 on the year. We can't complain about this. But today, we're hitting two of these. And we're going to start with this first guy. And it's a new shirt debut. It's going to be this guy, Mr. Fred VanVleet. Taking his over 29.5 points plus assists plus 100 on points bet down. You can take the 28.5 that's available on DraftKings and Caesars for a little bit more juice, and maybe it becomes 28.5 throughout the day. I don't really care. I think VanVleet has a good chance to crush both of his lines, and I don't love taking these, points plus assist line, and this might be a spoiler, but the next one might be a points plus assist line as well, but when you got a guy that has a chance to hit his over not only in points, but also destroy his over in assists, I kind of have to combine them. It's a guy like Halliburton. He could go out there and get 15 assists and 15 points. That's why we take his points plus assists. But if you need an individual line, I still would bet VanVleet's individual lines both for 1.5 units. Now let's talk about VanVleet. Now, him and the Raptors are on the road taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Let me list a couple players for you guys. Pascal Siakam, Otto Porter Jr., Chris Boucher, Gary Trent Jr., Precious Achiuwa, Delano Bland. All these guys are out for the Raptors today. They are running with the bare bones squad out there, very similar to the Miami Heat yesterday. And maybe VanVleet goes out there and plays like his former teammate Kyle Lowry, who had a game. But VanVleet's going to go out there, play ridiculous minutes, and that's awesome because we need VanVleet out there. Last game, he saw 39 minutes. That was a game, not only he was in foul trouble, so he missed some minutes for that, but it's also his first game returning from injury/illness. I mean, that was also a game Blanton and Boucher both played 46 minutes. Both those guys are out for this game. And while the Raptors probably have some other guys on the bench that they'll play, like Juancho Hernan-Gomez a little bit more, but VanVleet's going to be out there and he's going to be asked to run the show for the larger majority of the time, and he's going to be shooting a ton. Now, the Hawks actually have been, if you look at their numbers versus other opposing point guards and shooting guards, actually been pretty good defensively versus them, but we know this is a Hawks team that can give up a lot of points. There's a reason this over-under's in the 220s. The Hawks play fast, and they can give up points and assists to opposing guards. And look, the Hawks are going to probably have to stick Fred VanVleet on Trae Young. If they don't, then that's not great. But the Raptors are going to start, Fred VanVleet, who's 6'1", 6'2", and then they're going to start a bunch of guys that are 6'7" or taller. I don't think they want Trae Young on a guy that's 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". I just don't think that. They'll just post him up and probably have a lot of wide open shots. And at the end of the day, I think we'll see VanVleet being guarded by Trae Young, and the opposite on the defensive side for VanVleet. But in the last 5 games, all without Pascal Siakam, who's obviously their number one player, VanVleet is at the 41, 31, 36, 18, and 31 points plus assists, hitting the over in 4 of 5 games. One game he didn't hit it. We actually took his under in that game. It was not a good matchup. And while this isn't the best matchup on paper, the volume should get there for VanVleet. And it's a guy that could hit this over in points alone. If you look at that one game he went under, he only played 29 minutes in that one. It was a blowout. And then the other one, I fully expect 36 or more minutes tonight. And VanVleet in those games has attempted 22, 19, 26, then 12 when he only played 29 minutes, and 21 field goal attempts. This is a guy attempting 20 plus shots, a lot of them from 3. And VanVleet also has a great track record with assists for versus the Hawks. Now, granted, he doesn't have as many players to get assists too. He's had 9+ assists in 5 straight games versus Atlanta, and maybe you see a dip below in his assists just because he doesn't have a lot of other guys, like talented guys that can knock down shots against him. But these are guys all in the NBA. He's going to have his assist chances. I still think they make them. And VanVleet, in his last 5 against the Hawks, he's had 21, 33, 37, 27, and 35 points plus assists. His 2 games that he went under, and keep in mind, this was with a lot of the other guys like Pascal Siakam and other guys out, and Gary Trent Jr. out there. The 2 games he went under, he shot 4 for 21 and 6 for 20. I fully expect him to shoot 20, 18, 20, 25 shots tonight. We're just asking him to knock him down. This is solely a bet on volume. I think this number is way too low given the matchup, and I do think that we'll see VanVleet and the Raptors stay in this game. They're only 5-6 point underdogs. Over-unders 223, 225-ish, and I think the best bet segment needs to heat back up. It's been cool the past maybe about the past week. I think VanVleet heats it up a little bit. I'm wearing his shirt for the first time today. Hopefully he treats us nicely. We're taking Fred VanVleet. Take his over 29.5 points plus assists. It's plus 100 on points bet. I like the plus 100 rather than the minus 125 that you probably have to get on other books. Give it to me. Now let's move on, and it's Saturday. Let's have 2 best bets because I really like this one as well. It's a guy we bet before. Damian Lillard taking his over 33.5 points plus assists, minus 125 on FanDuel. Now, I am laying the juice on this one solely because there's no other line. The 34.5 line is minus 110. So I'd rather just lay the juice for just a little bit, maybe 15 more, percentage points. But I'd still play it at 1.5 units for 34.5 points plus assists. I'd actually drop it down to a 1 unit play if you only have his over 26.5 points. It's over 7.5 assists. Now, I look at its points line. Dame's gone under in 2 straight, but they raised his line. And normally when they do that, it's a pretty good indicator the guy's going to have a pretty good day. And I think Dame has a chance. And he's one good shooting night away from hitting this over in just points alone. Dame, we know he's been cold recently. We've taken his overs. He's still cashing, but he's in a little bit of a slump. And I think a great matchup to heat it up against is the team like the Utah Jazz, who don't play a ton of defense and are on a back-to-back. Now, Lillard averaging 27.6 points per game, 7 assists per game, or 27.6 points per game, not assists, and 7 assists per game. So 34.6 points plus assists per game. And it's a massive pace-up spot versus a Utah Jazz team that wants to run fast and you don't play a ton of defense. You saw we took Devin Booker's over yesterday. He had 49 points and 10 assists. Could we see a guy like Damian Lillard have that again? Now, I don't think Lillard will shoot as many times as Booker did last night, but he's certainly capable of hitting it. And Lillard hit this over in 5 games this season. 10, I believe he's played 10 games. He's hit it in 5 games. 2 of the misses that he had, 33 on the dot. So he's been close in some games, and in his 5 misses, he just has not shot well from the field. 27.8%, 18 field goal attempts. 46.2%, yet he only shot 13 times and a 33%. I'll put all the numbers up on the screen. Those are his 5 games that he missed it. Didn't shoot well, or just didn't have a ton of field goal attempts. Now in the games he's hit the over, he still hasn't been shooting well, and I'm just thinking he's going to have a good shooting night tonight. I just think against the Utah Jazz, it's a great spot for him. And Lillard averaging 18.5 field goal attempts per game. You remove those 2 games versus Miami, where he only attempted 12 and 13 shots. He's up to 20 field goal attempts per game, and you get an additional 8.7 free throws a game. Look, this is a guy over the last 3 games. He's become actually a great facilitator, which is why I'm tacking on assists. He's got 11 assists in all 3 games in the last 3, averaging 16 potential assists. While the Jazz aren't a team that gives up a ton of assists per game, I still think Lillard with his potential assists could get a 6 to 8 assists, and that still give us a good chance to hit this over. I know he's not being relied on as a scorer as he was in the past, but he still had CJ McCollum in those past days. Now I know he has Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant stepping up lately, but let's look at me. This is a guy like Damian Lillard who's absolutely feasted on the Utah Jazz in his career. In the last 10 games against them, 29.4 points per game, 7.3 assists per game for 36.7 points plus assists. In those 10 games, he hit the over in 7 of them. 2 of the 3 misses. He shot only 12 times. Like if Dame goes out there and shoots 12 times tonight, I'm going to be honest with you, this ain't hitting. But I think he shoots at least 16, 20 times. And if Dame gets hot and sees his first 3 going, you best believe he's shooting another 10 of them. So I think Dame, if he can get hot, and I think he can at home against Utah Jazz, a team that doesn't play a ton of defense, does foul a good amount with Kelly Olynyk and Jared Vanderbilt out there. It's because I think this game is closer. I think you see the Jazz is only 4-point underdogs. The Jazz have been a gritty team. They're going to keep it close. I think Dame Lillard has a good night. We're taking his over 33.5 points plus assists. Hopefully he hits that over just points alone. Could also get a double-double as well, which should help us out. Go Dame time. Let's get it done. Those are my 2 plays, 2 best bets, 1.5 unit each on Fred VanVleet and Damian Lillard over in points plus assists. I do want to talk about the other games, and I'm going to tell you the game that probably has an added play potentially, but it might be later on in the the day. As always, check our pinned comment. Follow us on Twitter at Calling Our Shot. Let's talk about these games. Magic versus Pacers, an electric game. Everyone's going to be in the audience for this one. Now, I'm probably avoiding this game at all costs. I'm not going to put up any slides, so you just have to listen. But Tyrese Haliburton, I don't know if he plays or not. Probably won't know for a hot minute. Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner have played pretty well. Look into their props if you want to. But look, I don't know if Haliburton's out. Even if he is in, I don't really want to trust him on an injury. And the Pacers squad, I don't know who plays point for them if Haliburton goes out. I know TJ McConnell comes in, but he only plays a certain amount of minutes. They aren't going to run him into the ground. So probably avoided Magic Pacers at all costs. Now, here's the game I would probably add a play. Timberwolves Sixers. Now, this is a game that I think is going to have some advantageous lines. Now, I actually did consider Joel Embiid under 34.5 points just because there are 900 ways you can go under 34.5 points. It's going to be tough for Joel Embiid to go over that. I mean, 34.5 is just a ridiculous line. You saw what happened with SGA yesterday. He went well under. John Morant went well under. I think Luka barely hit his over. But I actually looked at his over in assists for Joel Embiid. It's 5.5. And if Tyrese Maxey's out for this game, which I'm hoping he is, it's going to open up a lot of value for the other guys. If Tobias Harris is suddenly back in this game, probably going to take his points plus rebounds. It's a good look. I think he's going to shoot a lot. Now, if Tobias Harris is not there, I'm going to look at a guy like D'Anthony Melton. Look at a guy like Shake Milton off the bench. They're going to run with a lot of, they aren't going to have a lot of guys. If Maxey misses, they're going to be down Maxey, down Harden, down and potentially Tobias Harris. If he misses, they're going to be a bare bone squad. They're going to need guys out there, and Shake Milton and D'Anthony Melton aren't afraid to shoot their own shot. I'd probably look at D'Anthony Melton PRAs just because he gets a lot of rebounds and potentially a lot of assists, but you should see Shake Milton play a pretty big role. I love me some Shake. So stay tuned for add a play in that game. Probably won't be until, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 p.m., probably roughly an hour or two before tip-off. But if there's something I like, you'll definitely know about it. Just follow us on Twitter, set those notifications on, or if you become a COS All-Star, I'll obviously post it, and I'll post it as a pinned comment in this video whenever I do pick one. Now let's go, of course, the Spurs Clippers. I ain't betting that. You got the wrong guy. The Spurs got 900 guys on the injury report. No thanks. And the Clippers, I don't trust Ty Lue in those rotations. Kawhi Leonard at 14.5 points is tempting against his former team, but they're not in San Antonio. I just don't want to take it. No, I just don't. I can't bet Spurs or Clippers. It's just tough. Only thing I would do is take unders with those teams. Maybe the Spurs with Devin Vassell. I like his overs, but he might not even play tonight. Now, of course, check that pinned comment for any added plays. It's time to shout out some COS All-Stars. If you ever want to become one, go click the join button on the channel. I appreciate all the All-Stars. You get our plays early. We only got a couple today. We got Julian, we got Isaac, we got Josh, we got Nick, we got Josh again, we got Palencia, Rojas, Jaime, Antonio, and we got Gabe Pena. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. We appreciate you guys. I can't do without you guys. Now we have a couple videos popping up on the channel. Go check them out. We got our NFL Week 11 Best Bets video somewhere over here. We're at College Football Week 12 Picks video somewhere over here. And our Parlays and Player Props video will be over my face, but that won't be live until about 5 or 6 p.m. So stay tuned for that. This is Austin, signing out. Let's cash 2 best bets, potentially an added play. Let's go 3-0, third straight winning day. Let's keep it moving. I'll see you guys back in tomorrow. Peace.